Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the Cardano family. We're not going to waste any more time and take a look at what's happening with ADA. At this point, if you did end up watching my market analysis update, I'm sure you guys know what's going on. I would strongly encourage you guys, to make sure your bell icon is on so you're notified every time I upload. But yeah, let's face it right now, as we've been saying, pretty much day in, day out on these updates that, right now retail interest is very low in crypto space. And today, Bitcoin did end up retesting and completing the wave that I was talking to you guys about for quite some time at $86,000. And that, of course, has dragged the altcoin market down quite substantially today. Once again, Cardano down 6.5% on the daily time frame. And of course, on the monthly time frame right now, down 32.4%. So, quite a large retracement nonetheless. Let's take a closer look and see what's happening. Before we do that, as always, just a quick disclaimer. Anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So Cardano's price 43 cents right now. You can see down 1.3% on the Bitcoin side of things. Market cap $15.9 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at $1.1 billion. But take a look at what's happening with the Bitcoin dominance here. You can see for yourself, dominance is down once again. We are retesting where we were just on the 18th. And you can see, we saw this spike up to 59.45%, short-lived, pretty much back down to where we were, and we could see the dominance breaking below here. But again, this is better than the dominance going up during Bitcoin retracements. As I've stated to you guys before, this is what you want to see rather than the dominance either consolidating or going up. That's not what you want to see happening. But if you're looking at Bitcoin, on the other hand, let's take a closer look and see, what's really going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, look at it for yourself. We cannot make this up. Bitcoin ended up retesting $86,000. You could see for yourself, a level I've talked about for quite some time. And, I was quite content on this target. And you can see for yourself, we touched that today. We did see a bounce after retesting. And let me kind of go on the hourly time frame to show you guys right at the $86,000. After that, we pumped up 2.6% for Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up to $88,000. But, once again, kind of finding itself back down to $86,000. So in my opinion, I again watched the market analysis update, but this wave is done. This wave is completed, and now if the things were to start turning around, I wouldn't be surprised, because the wave that we have been seeing is completed. This retracement is completed. But with that said, now is very crucial at the same time, because if we drop below $86,000, of course, we do have support around $84,000 at the 61.8 neckline. But I've been quite clear, even if the price of Bitcoin goes, to 75K key range, maybe, the bears try to push it down to this key level, that would be fine, as long as we don't go below $73,000. That itself is quite a large move. Again, if you want to put this into perspective, even a 75K retest for BTC is about an 11.9% move from where we currently are. And even then, the price and overall trend is in the upward trajectory. But that would be the biggest retracement that we have seen in this cycle for Bitcoin. So that's what I want you guys to kind of keep in mind. But $86,000 retest are great. The wave is complete for me, as you guys know. But again, we'll see what happens for Bitcoin. Maybe a little bit more retracement from this key range, wouldn't be surprised. But I think we're getting closer to this retracement. And unless, of course, the Bitcoin price drops below 78.6, that is mega bearish. But again, I don't think that will happen, in my opinion. But let's take a look at what's happening with ADA's price right now. So Cardano's price, you could see for yourself. Let me kind of take you guys down memory lane. Just this August 14th, we were retesting literally at $1 price point for ADA. And a lot of people have already forgotten that. People have already forgotten that. And since then, the price has gone down quite substantially. We're looking at about a 57% pullback for ADA's price. But again, this shouldn't be a surprise to any one of you. If you're looking at Bitcoin from its all-time highs, it's down 33%. And when you make a comparison with ADA and a lot of altcoins, you shouldn't be surprised that, ADA is down almost double compared to Bitcoin, because again, that is usually how altcoins tend to perform when it comes towards the downside. And again, let's face it, dominance has been all over the place. So of course, that's going to have an impact on Cardano's price. But I'm trying to show you guys that, ADA still did perform even in this cycle, even though the cycle is different. It's definitely a different cycle. And again, we could potentially see an extension into 2026 now, depending on how Bitcoin holds. That's what you want to be paying very attention to. Obviously, quarter four usually in a bull market is a bullish sign. A lot of people don't realize, yes, we're still in a bull market, believe it or not. Yes, we're still in a bull market unless Bitcoin, like I said, drops below $75,000. For me, then the bull market is officially over. And what I'm trying to get at is a lot of altcoins still did end up performing good. Just depends on how your portfolio was, how you had your portfolio diversified. And you could see for yourself, ADA from November 8th of last year, it did run up 300%. So again, profits and gains were made depending on how you caught that, how your exit strategy looked like, and if your profit taking was there, then you did quite good for yourself. And I'm sure a lot of you have. But again, now the other statement is that altcoins really did not have their time. Of course, one part is altcoins are very saturated. There's so many altcoins out there in this industry now. And also, we haven't really seen a full-fledged altcoin season. So, is this because of a lack of liquidity? A lot of analysts pointing out at quantitative easing, because quantitative easing is just projected to start next month, and that could unlock more liquidity that could potentially come into riskier assets like the stock market and crypto. But we'll see what happens. But again, from an opportunity standpoint, I was reading some comments on X the other day. Some people are either very bullish on this, some people are very just like done with crypto, and usually that is what happens when you do see these types of retracement, because people get tired of it. But again, people that are accumulating right now during this amount of fear are picking up some great deals across the board, because again, there are a tremendous amount of deals right now across the board. And people that are dollar cost averaging in, I'm sure are having a good time doing so. But enough with the long talk. You guys can see for yourself the price of ADA from November 13th is down now about 24%. Again, in the downwards trajectory, should not be a big surprise to any one of you. Like I said, Bitcoin, the king of the market, is going down. Quite a substantial pullback for Bitcoin literally since the beginning of November. Let me take you down memory lane. Beginning of November, we were literally sitting at around you could say $110,000. Since then, the price of Bitcoin has dropped 22%. But again, my target has been reached. Like I said, a little bit more choppiness could still end up playing out. But I think we're getting closer, in my opinion. So, if we're getting closer for Bitcoin, does that not mean, altcoins are also getting closer? I also think that, because let's already face it, altcoins have already dropped down 60, 70, some even down 80% from yearly highs. And again, from an opportunity standpoint, maybe like I said, if Bitcoin were to go down a little bit more, you do see some choppy levels. But we're seeing ADA, and along with a lot of other altcoins, kind of closer to where they were prior to these major moves that we did see in a bull market. But you can see for yourself right now, ADA is holding at some key significant support. We still have not retested the 40 cents price point. You should not be surprised at that, because we have significant support built up exactly where we are. Obviously, dating back to, you could see 2022 levels, 2021 levels even. Was an all-time high at one point, you could see for yourself, and now that is playing as a support for us. But if you want to put this into perspective, we are only about 7.8% move for us to retest a significant support line. Again, a level that we haven't really retested since November of last year. Obviously, you can make that comment on this wick that we did see, but again, I don't really count that, because this did not last too long. But a proper retest where you did see the price actually retracing downwards and gradually getting to here, that would be the first time since last November. So again, we are seeing obviously a lot of fear across the board for altcoins. Again, you could look at it from two different ways. If you are a long-term believer on certain projects, then in terms of an accumulation standpoint, if you've done your due diligence research and are investing what you can afford to lose during times where there's so much uncertainty, is obviously good to do, rather than when projects have pumped 3, 4, 500%. So again, you can see for yourself, we have some support around this key range. Could potentially retest this 40 cents, definitely on the table right now. But we might see Bitcoin seeing a little bit of a rebound if we keep bouncing above $86,000. We might actually see BTC maybe go up to the likes of 90,000 even. I would not be surprised. Now, if the prices were to reverse, I would not be surprised, because me personally, I was paying attention to this pattern, and I think that has been finished. So of course, altcoins will rebound as well. For swing traders, I'm sure they're already looking for opportunities out there. Again, I don't point out any targets for anyone. I know some people say Crypto ZX, do this, do that. No, I'm never going to do that. And you guys know totally against leverage trading platforms. So, I always want to clear myself whenever I talk about, swing trading. I talk more on the spot side of things. But again, right now, obviously, we are being supported by significant support. Keep an eye out on Bitcoin. We might see a little bit of a rebound for ADA. Obviously, if the price of Bitcoin were to rebound, maybe up to like 90K range, if it's able to reclaim back above that, I think, ADA is going to rebound as well. And, the next key support line, of course, resistance now at this point would be that 51 cents price point. Would not be surprised if ADA bounces up to that key range, but we'll see what happens one step at a time. Again, zoom out, take a look at, the utility that Cardano brings. A lot of people overlook that, and a lot of people are overlooking that when it comes to altcoins retracing, but that's the risk factor, obviously, as we know. When it comes to Bitcoin seeing major swings, you're going to see altcoins reacting no matter what, and that's something a lot of people overlook. But again, your boy Crypto ZX will come and remind you that. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. What's your overall strategy on ADA? What are your projections? Are you in it for the long haul? Majority of the consensus that I've seen is, people that watch ADA updates, especially the ones that are here right now, are long-term accumulators. They don't care about the short-term price action. They're, making long-term projections. So again, we got to take it one step at a time. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thanks so much for the love. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX and peace.